You've been telling yourself you're waiting for the right time. You keep saying you'll start when you feel ready, when life settles down, when the timing is perfect. But deep down, you know that perfect moment doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's the excuse you've been using to protect yourself from failure, rejection, and discomfort. The truth is, if you keep waiting, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Every day you wait, you're giving your dream away piece by piece. Every excuse feels safe, but safety is costing you the life you want. Look around you. How many people do you know who kept waiting until they were ready? Almost none. Because nobody ever feels ready. Readiness isn't something that comes before you begin. It's something you earn by starting, by stumbling, by learning as you go. The people you admire, the ones living the life you wish you had, they didn't wait for the stars to align. They jumped in scared, unprepared, and uncertain. And that's why they're ahead now. They acted when they weren't ready. Think about it. How many times in your life have you done something new and felt completely prepared? The first job you ever had, the first day of school, the first time you tried anything, you weren't ready. You just did it, and along the way, you figured it out. That's how life works. You don't wait for the fear to disappear. You take action while you're scared. You don't wait for confidence to magically show up. You build confidence by doing the thing you're afraid of. Waiting for the perfect moment is just fear disguised as logic. You tell yourself you need more research, more time, more certainty, but what you really need is courage. The courage to take the first step when your heart is racing, when your mind is filled with doubt, when every voice inside you is saying, not yet. That moment, the one where everything in you wants to wait, is the exact moment you have to move. Because if you don't, hesitation wins. And hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. Time isn't going to pause for you to feel comfortable. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready. Every second you delay is a second you'll never get back. Think about the person you want to become. That version of you isn't waiting. That version of you is already out there doing the work, pushing forward, building momentum. The only thing standing between you and that future is the choice you make right now. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop lying to yourself that tomorrow will be easier. Stop pretending that more time is the answer. The only thing you need is the decision to start. And once you take that step, everything begins to shift. Fear loses its grip. Doubt starts to fade. Action creates clarity. And the life you've been dreaming of stops being a dream and starts becoming a reality. This is your moment. Not later. Not someday. Right now. You don't need to move mountains today. You don't need to change everything in your life overnight. That's why so many people never start. They think they have to leap so far, so high, so perfectly that it feels impossible. But real change doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from one small step, just one. And the truth is, you already know the step you need to take. You've been thinking about it, circling around it, imagining it. But imagining isn't enough. Action is what creates change. Think about the way a journey begins. 1,000 miles doesn't start with a sprint. It starts with one step. That first step feels small, almost insignificant, but it holds the power to change everything. Because once you move, you prove to yourself that you can. And once you prove you can, you create momentum. Suddenly, that goal that felt impossible begins to look possible. That mountain that seemed too high to climb doesn't feel so intimidating once you start walking up the path. We get trapped because we overcomplicate things. We tell ourselves we need the perfect plan, the right resources, the ideal conditions. But what if you just focused on the next small action? Not the whole plan, not the entire dream. Just one thing? Open the laptop. Write the first sentence. Put on the shoes. Walk out the door. Make the call. Send the email. That's how you move from stuck to unstoppable. One simple action at a time. Here's the powerful part. Once you take that small step, your brain changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wishes and start seeing yourself as someone who does. And that shift in identity is everything. Because once you've proven to yourself that you can move, you'll keep moving. Confidence doesn't come before you start. It comes because you started. Action builds confidence. Consistency builds belief, and belief builds transformation. Don't underestimate how powerful small steps are. One day of effort might feel like nothing, but 10 days of effort changes your rhythm. 30 days changes your habits. A year changes your life. And it all begins with that first move, the one you keep putting off. You don't have to conquer it all today. You just have to start today. Think about it this way: every small step compounds. Every choice you make to act instead of wait, to move instead of pause, is a deposit into the future you want. You may not see the results instantly, but they're building. Every brick laid matters, even if the wall isn't finished yet. Every seed planted matters, even if you don't see the tree yet. Every small step matters, even if you don't feel the success yet. The people who achieve their dreams aren't the ones who made one giant leap. They're the ones who took countless small steps when nobody was watching. They're the ones who moved forward even when the progress was invisible. They're the ones who trusted the process enough to keep going. And you can be one of them. You already have what it takes. It's not about ability. It's about action. So today, forget about the giant leap. Forget about having it all figured out. Just take one step. And then tomorrow, take another. That's how you change your life, one step at a time. Motivation feels amazing when it's there. It lights you up. It makes you feel unstoppable. It convinces you that you're finally ready to conquer everything. But the problem is motivation is temporary. It comes in waves. Some mornings you wake up excited, other mornings you wake up drained. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll never be consistent because you'll always be waiting for a feeling that doesn't last. The real key is momentum. Momentum is stronger, more reliable, and more powerful than motivation could ever be. Momentum doesn't care how you feel in the moment. Once you get moving, it carries you forward whether you feel like it or not. Think about pushing a heavy car. At first, it feels impossible. You put your hands on it, strain with everything you've got, and it barely budges. That's the hardest part. But once it starts rolling, something shifts. It gets easier. Every push adds to the motion. Before you know it, the car is moving and you're not struggling anymore. You're flowing with it. That's momentum. Your goals work the exact same way. The first step feels brutal. The first week feels discouraging. You want results immediately, but results don't show up that fast. This is the moment most people quit, when motivation runs out and the grind feels heavy. But if you push just a little longer, if you keep stacking small actions, suddenly something clicks. You feel yourself moving forward. You start to notice progress, and that progress creates energy. That energy fuels your drive. That drive builds your confidence. That cycle is momentum. The secret is not to chase motivation, it's to chase movement. Do something no matter how small every single day. When you act, even without motivation, you build momentum. And once momentum takes over, it becomes harder to stop than it was to start. You don't need to psych yourself up every morning. You don't need the perfect mood, the perfect playlist, the perfect burst of inspiration. You just need to do something. And once you do, the energy follows. Momentum also builds resilience. When you've built momentum, setbacks don't knock you down the same way. You might stumble, but you won't stop. Why? Because you've already built proof that you can keep going. You've trained your mind and body to move, even when it's tough. That's the difference between people who reach their goals and those who don't. It's not luck, and it's not endless motivation. It's momentum that carries them through the hard days. Think about your life right now. There's something you've been wanting to change, something you've been wanting to build. You've been waiting for the spark to get you started. But what if you stop waiting for the spark and just create the movement? What if you took one action today and another tomorrow? What if you allowed momentum to do what motivation can't? Carry you forward when the excitement fades. Once you experience momentum, everything shifts. You stop needing to force yourself. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You start to feel pulled toward your goals instead of pushing yourself toward them. It becomes who you are, not just what you do. That's the power of momentum. It transforms effort into flow, struggle into rhythm, action into achievement. So don't sit around waiting for motivation. Don't depend on feelings to decide your future. Do the thing. Start the work. Build the motion. Because once momentum is on your side, nothing can stop you. Courage isn't something you're born with an endless supply. It's not reserved for the strongest, the bravest, or the people who seem fearless. Courage is simply a choice, a decision you make in the moment when fear, doubt, and hesitation are trying to hold you back. Too many people wait for courage to show up like it's a gift, but it doesn't work that way. Courage doesn't come before you act. Courage appears the second you decide to move forward despite being afraid. Fear will always be there. It whispers in your mind every time you think about trying something new. It reminds you of the risks, the possible failures, the embarrassment if things don't work out. That voice never goes away. And if you let it, it will paralyze you. But here's the truth: fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means you're about to do something that matters. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving with it, carrying it, and refusing to let it decide for you. Think about every defining moment in life. The first time you spoke up for yourself. The first time you took a chance on something that wasn't guaranteed. The first time you stood at the edge of the unknown and went for it anyway. Those moments weren't comfortable, but they changed you. And they only happened because you chose courage over comfort. The beautiful thing about courage is that it grows. The more you practice choosing it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it might feel shaky. You'll take the leap and your heart will race. Your palms will sweat. Your mind will scream at you to turn back. But when you push through, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. That proof stays with you. The next time, it's a little easier. And the time after that, easier still. Eventually, choosing courage becomes who you are. The mistake people make is waiting until they're not afraid anymore. That day will never come. Courage is built in the exact moment when you decide, I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyway. That split-second decision is what changes lives. It's the moment you stop letting fear control you and start taking control of your future. And once you've made that choice, you realize something powerful. Fear isn't nearly as strong as you thought. Your future depends on the courage you choose today. Every excuse you make, every delay, every time you wait until you feel ready, you're handing pieces of your future over to fear. But every time you choose courage, you're reclaiming it. You're saying, this is my life, and I will not let fear make my decisions. That's how people change their story. Not because they weren't afraid, but because they acted while they were. So the next time fear shows up, and it will, don't run from it and don't wait for it to disappear. Recognize it, feel it, and then choose courage anyway. Make the call, take the step. Speak the words. Do the thing your heart knows you need to do. Courage isn't loud, it isn't flashy, it's quiet and simple. It's the choice to act. And the moment you make that choice, everything begins to shift. Your confidence grows, your momentum builds. Your life opens up in ways you never imagined. All because you decided in one powerful moment to choose courage over fear.